Hello everybody, welcome to another tutorial about Bloomreach XM. Today we're going to have a look at creating a document type. Document type is basically the shape of documents that are going to be authored by users of your CMS. We need one because I'm going to be using it in upcoming tutorials to show you how the APIs work. And so it's not going to be a very complicated one, but it's also not going to be too simple. So let's get started. I hope you still have your CMS up and running. Let's log in with admin and go to our content. Now you might notice that the only thing we've done in the last tutorial was actually add an image over here, but there are no documents yet, and there are no assets. And to be able to create documents, we actually need to create document types first. So what we're going to be doing is adding to the existing namespace, the XIN Mods namespace, and creating our document called a recipe, because we're going to be creating a little application that shows recipes. So what we want here is to select on the right side, the menu, we want to create a new document type. Compound types are interesting as well. They're basically a subset of fields that can be added to an actual document type, but they cannot be authored as individual documents. So they'll always be part of a proper document type. And I'll show you one later, probably in a different tutorial, but for now let's create this one. Let's call it recipe. Let's have it be based off the base document, which contains some functionality around publication. And let's select the one column layout. But yeah, you can select here different types of layouts in which fields can be added and be displayed. I quite like this one though. Okay, so now I can see here that we have a basically an empty document type, and that's not published yet because it has a red icon there. Let's add some fields. And these fields are all, the fields we can add are all shown on the right side here. So you got the simple fields, which are the primitive field types. You got compound fields, which are a bit more complicated. And then you have custom compound fields. In this area, you'll see the compound fields that you actually create yourself through here. So these are the built-in ones, and these are ones that get added later. Okay, let's get started. So we want to add a title to the recipe. So we add a string, and we give that string a path, and the path is going to be the identifier under which it will appear in the API calls. So let's give this name title. And the field you fill out here is actually the value you show up here. And it's going to be required. Then we're going to add a little summary. This one, summary, recipe summary. Also required. Great. Then we want to add an image. So we go into the compound field category and we select image link. This will link off to an image that is located in the images tab here. But we'll get to that later. So this is a thumbnail. Let me do this. No. Okay, so a few more fields. So we want to add a body text. So we describe the recipe, describe how yummy it is and all that. So this body, recipe, body. I'm gonna pause the video, but I'm gonna be adding ingredients, instruction list, a set of related recipe documents, and gallery images, and we'll go through them in a bit. Sweet. Okay, so we're back. So I've added the ingredients field here, related recipes, and image gallery. And what they all have in common is that they actually they are allowed to add multiple of the same type, and they are orderable. And the way that you can do that is by, after setting up the path and the caption, selecting multiple, allowing them to be ordered. And the same here. So these are related recipes, which is going to be a list of links to other documents. They are the compound field type called link, and the same for gallery, which is an image link type called gallery, which allows multiple ordered images to be linked. Great, so now we're done with the basic layout of our document type. I'm going to go select done, and we're going to commit our changes to the repository. And you'll see that you switch between a different document type, and this are the one we just created. You can see the icon just turn green. So that means that if we go into documents here and quickly add a recipes folder, that when we decide to add a document by saying add new document, now our recipe shows up, our recipe document type. So let's create our first cupcakes. There we go. Right, so now it's created a document called cupcakes recipe, and it has all the fields that we just created in our document type, but from the point of view of being editable by an author. So let me go and fill these all out for you real quick. First, we actually have to upload some images. That's going to be there. So let's go into images. Let's create another one. Subfolder called cupcakes. And let's add our images here. So you can select them, or pre-select them, and I'll be right back. Cool. So I've selected them. You can see their preview here, and we just hit upload. And there we go. Those are the images. Look very yummy. So let's go back to our document here. So at the bottom, by the way, there's a bunch of tabs that allow you to switch between the different documents. So let's say, let's open this one and say first image is this. Let's add another one. That one. Okay, I'll fill these out as well. So recipe. Fast forward, and I'll be back when all this is filled out. There we go. So filled out title, summary, selected the thumbnail. I added some lorem ipsum for the recipe body text, and I added some of the ingredients that we'll need. Yeah, this field is for later, but I'm going to say that this means that you can link off to other documents as well that are related to cupcakes. If you want carrot cake cupcakes or red velvet ones, you have articles about that, then you can link off to those. But for now, let's keep it empty. Actually, remove them. Good. So now we're done, and we publish our document, and that's it. That's really all you need to create a document type, and then use that document type to create your documents with. Now, you may have noticed, you can see here on the column that, you know, it's just using the name, like the lowercase identifier of the document type. So oftentimes you'd kind of want to make this look nice by adding a translation for this document type to the console here. So I've logged in CMS/console using the admin credentials. And what you can do is go into Hippo configuration, into the Hippo translations folder, and then into Hippo types. And in here is basically a list of names of types, and then for each language their translation. So we can do that as well for our types, and so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to take this XIN Mods one, copy it, and copy it to XIN Mods recipe, which is the name of the document type we've created. And then there you go. And I'm going to take this. We're going to go into the EN, the English node, change this to recipe. So when we write this, and we can go back and we refresh, you can see that this, what previously said recipe in lowercase, has now been replaced with the proper name. So the thing is that if you have different languages and the user logs in using a language different from EN, they will be presented with their version of that translation label. Okay, good. So the very last step that we want to do is then to save our work in a package. So what we're going to do is gather all the paths, the things that we've just added, and adding them to a new package in our package manager. So let's create a little list first. So we've just added this translation, XIN Mods recipe translation. That one's important. And then also the entire definition of all the nodes and all the fields lives here under the Hippo namespaces node / XIN Mods in the recipe that we created. So let's copy that path. And then also there is a separate, so that there's a separate thing called a content node definition. So each document type also has a content node type. In this case, we call it XIN Mods recipe. So let's take those things and create a new package from them. Recipe document types. Call it. So as you can see here, by default, it allows you to just get the content from documents or the gallery, but we're only interested in these two at the moment. Get that one, a very particular one. Right, so create it, and now we can download it. What we can do with this downloaded package is upload it into a different Bloomreach instance and having the exact same document types there. Download it. There we go. That's our package. It's pretty cool. So this is kind of the workflow that you would go through to create a document type with the XIN Mods on top of your Bloomreach instance. Yeah, you can decide to keep all the document types separate in separate packages, or you can decide to kind of group them all together into an application package that has all the document types that are related to each other in one package, which is the approach I usually take. But there's something to be said for either way. Right, I hope this was useful. Next time we're going to be using this new document type to do some querying with our XIN Mods API. Cool, see you then.